Welcome to the In Love with PMDD podcast. I am your host, Dr. Rose, your PMDD relationship psychotraumatologist, and I help you stop the monthly PMDD breakups. PMDD is premenstrual dysphoric disorder. It is in approximately 1 in 5 women, and it makes you want to break up with your partner approximately 1 to 2 weeks before your period every single month. So as someone who has suffered with PMDD for over 18 years, I dedicated my doctorate practice to helping partners navigate those monthly PMDD breakups with everything from attachment styles, triggers, sensitivity to noise, sensitivity to touch, all of the things that you really struggle with when you're in PMDD. And I also dedicated my dissertation to a phenomenological study of the relationship experiences of partners of individuals who suffer with premenstrual dysphoric disorder. So I'm not just here to help the sufferer, the one who is suffering with PMDD. I am here for the partners as well. So if you need those private sessions, make sure you go to inlovewithpmdd.com and get those tools. So let's get into this week's PMDD trauma transformational tools that is going to help you stop the monthly breakups and stop the suffering and stress in your PMDD relationship. Let's get into it. Today, I want to talk to you about what makes a supportive PMDD partner. I've heard this so many times, and I'm pretty sure you've heard it if you have PMDD or if you're the partner of someone who has PMDD. I always get this question, Dr. Rose, what is a supportive PMDD partner? So I'm going to be going through this little mini series of what makes a supportive PMDD partner. But the first thing is I want to let you know, if you don't have some of these qualities, it doesn't mean that you cannot become a supportive PMDD partner. It doesn't mean that you're with the wrong person. If you're listening to these tools that I'm giving you and you're saying, my partner doesn't do that, maybe I'm with the wrong person, maybe I should be with someone else, I want you to let go of those doubts and those fears about you being with the wrong PMDD partner, because this is something that I have counseled partners through and allow them to develop these tools, develop these skills, develop these characteristics. So before I get into it, I just want you to, wipe that out of your mind, that if you don't already have these characteristics, that you can't develop them. It does take effort, and it does take effort on both parts, meaning the partner who has PMDD has to be in a place to really receive a lot of the changes. What I've seen in the past when I'm working with private clients and I'm trying to work with a partner who, doesn't have PMDD to develop these qualities, there's a lot of reminding of what they didn't do in the past. And so we just want to make sure that we're letting go, starting new. Whenever you start to work on your relationship, work on who you are as a partner and wanting to be better to your PMDD partner, you have to let go of the past, let go of how you used to be, let go of what you used to do, and really adopt a new kind of modality towards your PMDD relationship. So the first one is so important. The first quality of a supportive PMDD partner is being intuitive. And so what does intuition mean? Basically, when I say intuitive, it means when you see that your PMDD partner is suffering, when you see that they're down, when you see that they're out, when you see that they really just don't have it in them, you're able to really gauge some of the things that they may need. And I know a lot of times, if you're the partner, you're like, hey, I'm asking my partner, the one who has PMDD, I'm asking them, what is it that you need from me? What is it that you need from me? But a lot of times when we're in PMDD, we don't really know what we need. And it's almost frustrating to have to think about what we need. We know we need something, and we know we need something from you, but we don't necessarily know what that is all the time, or we're not able to communicate it and verbalize it in a way that you can really understand. And that's where the brain fog comes in, and you being stressed and overwhelmed and all of these things. But I just really recognize the importance of this specific quality of being intuitive, because I'm on day 7 of PMDD right now. And I've been trying to be more social since the breakup, and just, putting myself out there and connecting with people that are really healthy for my nervous system, right? Really healthy, because I do need a support system. I do need those people. And that was hard for me to it was really hard for me to come to terms with it. I know that a lot of PMDD sufferers have the same, thing where they really don't want to admit that they need help, or they don't want to admit that they need someone else. If you're really independent, you kind of think, I got this, I can handle this. But there are times where I really need some people to just be there for me because I'm there for so many other people. And you pour out, and I know a lot of high functioning PMDD sufferers go through this, where they're pouring out to your partner, your kids, your work, your all the things, and no one's really pouring into you. And so I just was like, I made these commitments when I was in my follicular days, of course, to go hang out, after work and just like spend time and just really be intentional about connecting with the people that I want to have in my life right now. Like I'm being very selective. There's this movie called Up in the Air with George Clooney, and he said the most remarkable quote, and he was saying, I've emptied my backpack and now I'm deciding what I want to put back into it. And that is really the journey that I'm on right now. Ever since the breakup with my ex PMDD partner, I've emptied my backpack. There was a lot of mutual friends that we had. There was a lot of plans, and my backpack is essentially empty at this point, right? And it's not something that I ever imagined, but it's actually put me in a place to where now I can choose. I can choose to, that's my dog, Leo. Leo, I can choose what I want to put in my backpack. I can choose. Sorry, I decided to record this last minute, so I'm in my home studio. But yeah, I can choose what I want to put back into my backpack, what I want to accept into my life right now. And that has been I've had to be very introspective. When you get to this place in your journey where you're being very selective with who you allow in your space, specifically when you're in PMDD, you start to realize what is it that you specifically need, right? Every PMDD sufferer needs something different. I know for me, I need care. I need this quality I'm going to teach you about today, which is this intuition. I need someone that is going to um, really be able to give me support, even if I'm not necessarily asking for it. Because I'm probably not the one that's going to ask for it because I'm used to pouring out and giving to so many other people. So what intuition is, it's the ability to understand or know something or what someone needs instinctively without the need for conscious reasoning, right? Without me explaining it to you. It's a gut feeling, it's a hunch, it's like an inner knowing, and it just comes to you. So this is what happened for me, is that I was supposed to go out and I really wasn't feeling it, right? Because you have those fork in the road moments where you know that you committed to doing something in your follicular days, and sometimes you just say, you know what, I'm not going to do it. And I realized if I got in the habit of doing that, I'm a very habitual person, meaning if I start doing something, I'm probably going to continue to do it. And I really didn't want to get in the habit of always canceling plans when I don't necessarily feel like it, because then there's no sustainability with maintaining relationships if I only can hang out with them or I only can spend time, 2 weeks out of the month. That's unrealistic. So I said, I have to find a way to show up because I committed to showing up. But even though I'm not going to show up as my best, right? I knew it. I knew I wasn't going to show up with a lot of energy. I knew I wasn't going to show up like super happy, super all these things, but I wanted to just commit to being there. And so what this intuition is when I walked into, so I got dressed and I was getting ready. I put the music on, like all the things I do to kind of pump myself up because I had taken a nap, right? I got off of work. So a lot of times you have to plan for this. You have to plan to spend time with people. If you plan to spend time with your partner, and there may be like a process that you do before. So for me, I went ahead and took a nap when I got off of work and I got off of client calls. I ate food, I took a nap, I made sure I had time for myself, and then I got up, I took a shower, and I started putting music on. But I felt like I was moving in slow motion. Day 7 of PMDD is normally when I get into like, woe is me. Like, why do I have this disorder? I'm so like sad about it. Like I get really sad about having PMDD, and this happens every day 7, right? I'm just like, why do I have this disorder? What did I do to deserve this? Like, I just felt down. It was almost like that cartoon character Eeyore off of Winnie the Pooh. That's how I felt. I was like, I'll go out if I have to, right? So that was my persona, and I was moving, but I was literally moving in slow motion. And when I went there, they gave me a hug. They were like, thank you so much for coming out. And they were so grateful for my presence. And they looked at me They just looked at me and said, "You look like you're in a daze. You look like you're out of it." And so, one of the worst fears that a lot of people that suffer with PMDD have is that other people can see their suffering, right? We're used to having an internal suffering that nobody can really see. So, when someone calls us out on how we look different or how we're acting different, it used to be a real like it's normally a trigger. But this particular time, because this person was very intuitive, they were understanding and empathetic. So intuitive PMDD partners, they have a deep understanding of your emotions and how you normally show up, and they empathize with your suffering. So it makes it easier for you to communicate and connect with this partner, because instead of judging you for not showing up at your best, instead of judging you for not being high energy or being super happy, they're understanding that you're suffering. They're immediately able to see the shift in your mood and able to see that you're suffering. And instead of judging you for it, instead of criticizing you for it and making you feel guilty for not showing up that way, they're empathetic. And so it's easier for you to admit your suffering to an intuitive PMDD partner because you know that they're not going to judge you on it. When you know that they're not going to judge you, then you feel more open with saying what your symptoms are and why you're not showing up as your best. And so immediately when they gave me a hug and they said, "Thank you so much for coming out," and they looked at me and they said, "Let me make you some tea." They were like, "Do you want tea or do you want coffee?" And I was like, "I'll take tea," because I definitely didn't want any caffeine. And sometimes it gives me bad anxiety. And I was at a point where I felt like even if I had caffeine, like I probably was still going to be dragging because it was PMDD, right? So I was like, no, 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 I'll take tea. And then they made me, a cup of tea, and they said, "Go sit down." Like basically whatever we were going to do, like hang out and do maybe super fun stuff. They're like, "Just sit down, rest. I'll go make your tea." They gave me a supplement that kind of helped me relax. And just said, "You know what, just even if you just like lay here and fall asleep, like whatever you need to do. I know this is your time, or this is time that you have like after work or whatever. If you just want to like lay around and be like a sloth." Like that's the intuitive partner understands what you need in the moment. I never said that I wanted to take a nap. I never said I wanted some chamomile tea or some relaxing tea. I definitely didn't say I wanted a supplement. I definitely didn't even know what the supplement was, but it really made me feel relaxed and amazing. And I didn't feel guilty about it because it was being offered to me. So that's one of the things about being a supportive and intuitive PMDD partner is when you're offering it to your partner who has PMDD, they feel more likely to accept it because they feel like it's not, a burden for you. The worst thing that we could be as PMDD sufferers is a burden to our partners because it doesn't feel good. So the next way an intuitive PMDD partner is supportive is they anticipate your needs, right? It's anticipating, it's seeing that you're tired, it's seeing that you're dragged down, it's seeing that you need a nap. So intuitively, my friend was like, "Hey, like you need to sleep. Like I know you showed up because you committed to this, but you need sleep." And so when your PMDD partner is telling you that, something that you need, instead of fighting them on it and saying, I got this. Like I've been in a place before where I've not really wanted to accept help because I felt like I was going to be criticized for it. I felt like I was going to be judged for it. I felt like I was going to feel guilty for not showing up. But when you have that understanding and that empathetic PMDD partner that is anticipating your needs, then you feel understood and cared for. You feel like, wow, this person genuinely cares about how I'm feeling. They're not being self-serving and selfish and saying, "Oh, you're not showing up the way that I want you to show up, and it's triggering for me." A lot of times what I've seen is that by you not showing up as your follicular self, it can trigger your PMDD partner if it causes you to not meet their needs. So that's the sweet spot. The reason why it triggers your PMDD partner when you're not showing up as your best in your luteal phase is because there's some need that they're not getting met. There's some void that is not getting filled. And so they're getting bitter and resentful for it. And so that's why they're not being supportive, is because Maybe they're needing affection. Maybe they're needing love. Maybe they're needing, words of affirmation. Maybe they're needing you to just spend some quality time with them. But instead of doing that, you shut down and you want to be in your hole and kind of hibernate. And so because they're not getting their needs met, this is where the bitterness and resentment comes from, and where they don't lean in and be supportive. So I want you to be very mindful that when you notice that your PMDD partner is starting to be intuitive with you and anticipating your needs and offering help, I want you to mutually support and validate them, right? When they're feeling, ask them how they're feeling, right? Because we can get so, as PMDD sufferers, we can get so into our symptoms, so into our suffering, that we're thinking it's all about us. And this is a very, unconscious thing. It's because you can get consumed with your suffering. But I want you to make sure that when you see that your PMDD partner is trying to be, intuitive with you and seeing what you want and kind of leaning into you and trying to be there for you and be supportive, ask them how they're doing. Because when you have that, the next thing is that effective communication. Intuitive PMDD partners, they excel. They're really good at nonverbal communication, right? Meaning I walked in and it was my body language. It was my tone of voice. I was very monotone. I sound different in PMDD than I do in my follicular days. I just sound less enthusiastic, probably because I'm suffering, and my body language is I look sluggish, and my facial expressions, I look like I had a blank stare, right? So that intuitive, person was really able to pick up on all of the nonverbal cues. So this is what will make you a really good PMDD partner, is because you can pick up on the nonverbal cues and then seek to meet your partner's needs based off of what you see from that body language, right? It was like, oh, you're feeling down, like your facial expression is blah, like you're staring into the abyss. You probably may not want to do a lot of talking, and that's okay. It's the next thing. It's the problem solving. It is, okay, I'm seeing that my partner is showing up in this state. What is it that I can do to meet their needs intuitively? So intuitive PMDD partners have strong problem solving skills. Immediately, the person was like, hey, let me get you some tea. Let me get you a supplement. They're creating solutions for the problems and the suffering that I was having. So they see beyond the surface level. They don't look at, okay, we were supposed to go to the movies, or we were supposed to go out to dinner, or we were supposed to do whatever it is that we were supposed to do, right? They're not looking at that surface level thing. They're saying, okay, I'm willing to shift and be adaptable to the state that this person is in. So you're suffering in PMDD, and the intuitive PMDD partner is willing to shift, right? So this goes into the next one, intuition in decision making. This means your PMDD partner may choose to cancel plans that you originally had because they know that it's not going to be beneficial for you to go and suffer through, going to the carnival or going to a movie, going somewhere where you may have noise sensitivity. And it's like, we're not going to have a good time if we go do this thing, because I already see the state that my partner is in. Right. So this is a lot of times where you may see that your partner cancels, vacations, because so many times I've been in PMDD and I've gone on vacation, and it has been literal hell in the most beautiful places because I was suffering in PMDD. And there wasn't that kind of intuition of kind of saying, okay, I know we're supposed to go on this excursion. I know we're supposed to do this. I know we're supposed to do that. Let's just cancel that and just stay in. Right. An intuitive PMDD partner is willing to be adaptable, be flexible, make adjustments to the plans so that you can, go off and do things that are actually enjoyable and that are going to restore you. So the next way that a supportive PMDD partner is intuitive, they're open to new experiences and opportunities within your PMDD relationship. They're willing to step out of their comfort zone and be there for you in your space. So if you want to lay on the couch and watch Love is Blind, they're willing to do that. It doesn't mean that it's their cup of tea. It doesn't mean that they love the show. It doesn't mean that they love the sitcom. It's about spending time for you in a way that feels best for you. So an intuitive PMDD partner is willing to come into your PMDD world. They're willing to lay in the bed with you, even if you're not talking, and just rub your hair. They're not looking to get something from you all the time. They're looking to serve you. So an intuitive PMDD partner is looking to meet your needs. And in turn, you have what's next is those intuitive PMDD partners has an intimate connection. So intuitive PMDD partners have a deep sense of intimacy and connection because they don't feel judged, they don't feel criticized, and they're really open with their thoughts and feelings. So it creates this strong bond that's based off of a mutual understanding and a vulnerability of being able to say, babe, honey, sweetheart, whatever you call your PMDD partner, I'm not feeling good today. I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling this. I'm feeling that. Is that okay? Like you're checking in with your PMDD partner and you're being vulnerable and open about how you're really feeling. You're not denying how you feel because you're scared of how, that's going to be perceived. You're just being like, look, I'm I'm not feeling it today and I'm sorry. And almost I don't want you apologizing for not showing up. I want you to feel like it's okay to not be okay when you're in PMDD, when you're with your intuitive PMDD partner. Because an intuitive PMDD partner is they're going to understand. They're going to be like, don't apologize. Like, it's fine. I just want to be in your presence. I just want to be around you. I don't care if you're just laying around like a sloth. Like it, I don't care. I want you to rest. I want you to be restored. You're more concerned with the way that your PMDD partner feels and their emotions and easing their suffering than them showing up and meeting your needs. So the next way intuitive PMDD partners can be supportive PMDD partners is conflict resolution. So intuitive PMDD partners can sense when there's tension, when there's about to be, when you're triggered. They can sense when you're triggered and they can de-escalate the situation before it escalates. So if they notice that you're going into PMDD rage, that you're getting really snappy, that you're talking really faster, that you're being really short with them, instead of leaning into that and getting offended and defensive because you're being like that, they're able to de-escalate that. And a lot of times that's done through that intimate connection, through physical touch. You can give your PMDD partner a hug. Like if you want to be a supportive PMDD partner and they're going through PMDD rage, go over and hug them. Kiss their forehead, rub their hair, lean into them, right? And just let them know it's okay, babe. I understand. Don't judge them for the way that they're suffering and then expect for you to have, conflict resolution, meaning if they're getting triggered over something and it's because they're in PMDD, let them get it out. If they need to vent, they need to get it out, and then just don't engage. Do not engage in conversations with a partner that has PMDD if they're in PMDD rage. Instead, I want you to seek to de-escalate the situation, calm them down, go for a walk with them, distract them, go do something else, give them space. Don't stay in the conversation. If you feel like you're so triggered where you're so offended, you're getting so defensive, remove yourself from the situation. Say, okay, babe, I'm going to give you an hour. I'm going to go to the store, or I'm going to go hang out with my friends, or I'm going to go do something to give you a little bit of space. If you think that that's going to help de-escalate it, right? Be intuitive enough to know that because you're not suffering in PMDD, you have the ability to remove yourself. You can calm down so that you're not triggered, so that you're both not triggered and ending up in PMDD fights. And the next way is the spiritual and emotional growth. So being with an intuitive PMDD partner, it can cause you to be closer spiritually and emotionally and just feel like get you into the realm of being really self-reflective, right? Really introspective and challenging your thoughts and feelings, really asking your PMDD partner, how is this making you feel? How are you feeling? Like you're letting your guard down. You're feeling safe with your PMDD partner because they're intuitive enough to be there for you in a way that you're not begging them for it. You're not feeling guilty about it, but you're just choosing to meet your partner's needs. And it is a very mutual thing. So if you're the partner that has PMDD, I want you to also be intuitive and to really pick up on what is it that my PMDD partner needs? What is it that they're going through? What is it that they're suffering with? If you notice that when you go into PMDD and your mood shifts and then it's causing your PMDD partner to suffer, how can I show up in a way that's not going to cause me to suffer? And this is a lot of times what I work with my private clients with is finding that way of being intuitive with each other in a way that's customized to your specific relationship. So that's where my monthly PMDD partner private sessions come in, because I really map out what is it that you need? What is it that your partner needs? What is it that you're able to do in PMDD that is not going to cause you to continue to suffer in a very intuitive way? So if this is something that you know that you need help with, go to my website, inlovewithpmdd.com, book those monthly sessions. I only have a couple more left. Because once those slots are filled up, they're filled up. But this is the first way that you can be an intuitive PMDD partner. And until next time, we got this. I hope this PMDD episode helped you and your partner in your struggles within your relationship. And if this is something that you know that you need help with and you need further support, individualized support, make sure you're going to inlovewithpmdd.com and you're getting those private sessions to really work through what you're going through in your relationship, specifically in regards to PMDD. And also, I want you to leave a 5-star written review on Apple Podcasts. What this does is it helps other PMDD sufferers and partners find this show that can help them get these free PMDD relationship tools. I remember what it felt like to not know that there were tools out there specifically for PMDD relationships. So I want to make sure that you are sharing these tools with others, share them on your social media, share them with people that you know that are also struggling in their PMDD relationships. Until next episode, this is Dr. Rose, your PMDD relationship psychotraumatologist. One more thing, I almost forgot. I now have the Fresh Start PMDD Partners Workbook. What this workbook can do is if you've had past traumatic experiences with your partner, past fights, past arguments, and they keep coming up every single month in PMDD, I created a Fresh Start Workbook so that you can deal with all of the traumatic experiences that have happened in the past in PMDD rage and all of these things so you can stop going through the same cycle again and again and again. So get that workbook. It comes with a video episode of the actual podcast that I recorded on getting a fresh start in your PMDD relationship. So you're not continuing the same cycle again and again and again. So make sure that you get that workbook. And if you need those individualized counseling sessions, you know where to go, inlovewithpmdd.com. Until next time, we got this. Love you.